What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 15, the finale. So we're going to start off with Gabe and Isabel and their wedding. So Gabe finally gets out of bed and he gets dressed. Now, last week we saw Gabe. He was in bed. He didn't want to get up and do anything because he was so upset about his sister Monica texting him that she was not going to be coming to the wedding. And it was all because they had some falling out the night before where Isabel and Gabe and Monica and her boyfriend were all supposed to meet up for dinner or for drinks or something. Isabel was running late. Monica got upset about that. When Isabel texted Gabe and said, "Hey, I'm 15 minutes away," Monica acted like she couldn't wait another 15 minutes, and so she was out of there. And we all know that Monica was not really feeling this relationship that Gabe is in with Isabel. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Monica. I don't know if she's an overprotective sister or why she's having this issue with Gabe marrying Monica. I don't know, but she's unhappy about it. I don't know if it's because it's not the woman that she would have imagined Gabe to be with, or if I don't know what's going on, because, Monica has not been open and honest with us. And so I don't even want to speculate on exactly the real reasons why she really doesn't care for Gabe and Monica getting married. It could just be that maybe she thinks that Gabe is moving too fast and she doesn't want her brother to get hurt. It could be as simple as that, because Isabel and Gabe, they have, they did kind of rush into this, and Gabe has an MO of acting very spontaneous when it comes to relationships and not really putting a lot of thought into it. He just kind of goes wherever his heart takes him. So maybe that's the reason why. But for whatever the situation is, Monica's not going to be at the wedding. Gabe is upset about that. So he doesn't want to get dressed. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him, but he finally snaps out of it and he gets up, he gets dressed, and now he has to rush to the venue because now he's running late. Now it's raining cats and dogs, which I heard is like a good sign. It's like a good luck sign if it rains on your wedding day. So he gets to the venue. Isabel is happy to see him. All the guests are there. The venue was decorated very nicely I'm assuming maybe, Isabel's parents paid for everything, because I don't think Isabel makes a lot of money, and Gabe, I don't know if he's really gotten, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, the venue was nice. The venue was really nice. I think it was like in a tent, and it was decorated very pretty. It was a lot better than what I expected it to be. That's what I'm trying to say. So Isabel's parents meet Gabe's mom, and it made Gabe feel all warm and fuzzy inside to have the parents meet each other, because they were all there to support the love between Isabel and Gabe. And so it made him feel really good that the two families came together and they got along. They liked each other. So then the wedding takes place with no problem. Everything goes according to plan, all without Monica. So after the ceremony, when they're at the reception, Isabel notices that Monica wasn't there. And so she's asking Gabe about it. And Gabe was like, "Yeah, my sister's mad. That's why she's not here. And I really don't want to talk about it." And Monica was like, Isabel was like, "You know what? That's fine, as long as she doesn't show up and ruin my wedding." So everything goes off without a hitch. Despite Monica being there, everybody had a good time, it looked like. There was drinking, there was eating, there was dancing, music, everything was fine. And so Gabe and Isabel are now officially husband and wife, and good luck to them. And of course, we're going to hear a lot about life after marriage, after the wedding, when we see them on the tell-all. Moving on to Mahmoud and Nicole. So Nicole has now been living in Egypt for 5 whole months, okay? And Mahmoud has agreed to move to the US once his visa is approved. So they talk about whether this whole clothes thing is going to be an issue once they start their new life in America. Is Mahmoud still going to give Nicole the blues about what she wears? And it seems like it will still be an issue, because Mahmoud had told his brother, "I'm a Muslim inside and out. I'm a Muslim 24/7. And just because I'm living in another country doesn't mean that I'm going to change my beliefs." So Nicole so as they talk about the clothes, and I guess they've decided that, yeah, this is still going to be an issue for us. I think that's what they decided. At some point I zoned out, so forgive me if that's not what they decided, but I felt like the conclusion was that they were both going to stand their ground on the issue of Nicole's attire. So then Nicole accuses Mahmoud of chatting with other girls in other countries. And Mahmoud got upset and he was asking her, so why are you even going through my phone? So he's trying to flip the script on her. Like, the issue isn't the fact that you might be cheating on your wife. The issue to him is, why are you even looking at my phone? So, of course, she's gonna bypass all of that and get to the nitty gritty of it, and said that she had come across a chat between Mahmoud and a girl in China. Now, it started off as business related because Mahmoud had said those conversations that I'm having with other people, those are all strictly for business. So it starts off business related, but at some point Mahmoud makes it, he goes outside the boundaries of business. He starts asking her questions like, what did he ask her? If she made it back to her hotel safely, and asking her how old she was. So, Nicole confronts him with that. It's like, okay, you're saying that it's about business, but you are asking some very unbusiness related type questions. Like, what does her age have to do with anything? And, why are you concerned about her making it back to the hotel safely? So Mahmoud does admit that, yes, okay, I might have been inappropriate and I did, cross the line, and I do apologize. So he admits to it and he apologizes. And he tells her that I never want anyone in my life except for you. Now, Nicole says that she's willing to let this go. She lets him go with a warning, but she says the next time, it's not going to be so pretty for him. And so she just wants to focus on the future. Now, if those text messages were inappropriate in any way, that would give me cause to pause on moving to America with him and moving forward with this relationship, because I don't know how she could have just glossed over that unless the text messages were not as serious as she made them out to be, unless they really were about business and Nicole is putting 20 on 10. But if they were as inappropriate as she made them out to be, to the point where she had to confront him about it, if I was Nicole, I would be like, you know what, let's take a break. I need a breather. And I would have taken my butt back to America, and I would have given a lot of thought to this relationship, because he's so controlling of her. And he's so jealous, he's got this jealousy thing over her. I mean, he acts like, he's really into her and he loves her so much. But then you're talking to other women. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's very contradictory. So Nicole says she's just going to, forget about it and move on. So either, Nicole, you're kind of exaggerating on what you read, or, we need to talk about this further as far as why you're willing to just kind of gloss over this. And of course, she did say that it was in the context of them arguing. So they would get into these arguments, and then he would walk away without his phone. And that's when she was able to look at his phone. But I don't know if he's talking to these other, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on, but for Nicole to confront him about it, I'm thinking something about those text messages bothered her. And like I said, if I was Nicole and if I saw my husband, not my boyfriend, my husband, communicating with other people like that, and then, the fact that his brother is married to a girl from China, and now he's talking to, maybe they do a lot of I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I was going to say, maybe him and his brothers, have a proclivity towards Asian women, and maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is a red flag for Nicole. But I don't know. She said she's going to move on and ignore it. So, hey, if she's going to accept it, I don't have a choice but to accept it for her. Moving on to Rishi and Jen. So Rishi is really struggling with a breakup with Jen. Rishi meets with his astrologer, and he tells his astrologer what happened at his house when Jen and her two friends came over with the translator. And they basically told his mom and his uncle that him and Jen were engaged. And so the astrologer was like, wow, they just told everything just like that. And Rishi was like, yeah, they spilled the whole beans. They told them everything. And so the astrologer is listening. And then the astrologer says, this is something that I've been wanting to talk to you about. I never told you this before, but I think right now is a good time to let you know that this relationship or this marriage between you and Jen should never happen. The stars are saying hell to the no. Y'all cannot get married. This is not a good idea. This is not a good union. Do not marry Jen. And so Rishi, he says that he believes in love more than he believes in astrology. So why were you always going to this guy? If you have always believed in love and didn't believe in astrology, or you believed in love more than astrology, why did you consistently go to this guy and take his advice when he told you to not tell your mom about your relationship with Jen until August? You took that to heart. And you're really upset that Jen and her friends had told your mom way before August. I'm not understanding. So when it's convenient, when it's like buying you more time to not commit to this woman, you believe in the astrologer. But then when the astrologer tells you something that you don't agree with, all of a sudden, I believe in love more than I believe in astrology. You've always believed in astrology. You barely believed in love, because if you really truly believed in love, number one, you would have stopped going to this astrologer, because it was giving you advice that was contradictory to the progression of your relationship. And you would have stood up to your mom and your dad and your mom and your uncle. I understand how strong culture is and all of that. But if you really truly believed in love and your love for Jen and her love for you, you would have been like, you know what? I'm going to submit this, submit, and I'm going to stay with my woman and to hell with my family. But no, you believed in the astrologer. You were upset that she told your mom before August. So don't switch it up on us now. You can't have it both ways, Rishi. You cannot have it both ways. And I feel like that's what he's trying to do. So later on, him and Jen meet, and wherever they were at, it was when Rishi said it was hot and humid, it was hot and humid, because their skin was like glistening with sweat. It was so hot and warm wherever the hell they were at. And so they start talking about the relationship, and Jen tells Rishi, look, I want you to understand that it's over, and I'm going to be going back to America soon. I don't want you to contact me. This is the last time that we'll ever meet face to face ever again in life. And Rishi doesn't want to accept that. Rishi is just a player. He's such a player to me. You know how it is? It's like when she was ready to commit and she comes all the way from America to India, to be with this guy, to start a new life with this guy. He's hemming and hawing, and he's trying to pull time. And, he's giving all these excuses of why they can't get married right away. But then as soon as the astrologer tells them, this is not going to work, it's not meant to be, do not marry this woman, y'all cannot be together, all the stars in the sky are saying, hell no. All of a sudden, he's like, I'm going to fight for Jen. I want to be with Jen. When she's about to leave. Now, all of a sudden, you know how it is, right? It's like, okay, now that you know it can never happen, you're going to put on a show that you've always wanted it to happen. But when she was ready for it to happen, when she wanted to land in India and get married the next day, you couldn't do it. You were nowhere to be found. Oh, my family, my religion, my culture, this, and that. Now, she's saying, I'm not going to marry you and I'm leaving. Oh no, Jen. I can't leave you. This can't be the end. He's so full of games, Rishi. You are so full of games. I don't have anything personal against Rishi. I do like him as a person, but the way he's playing with Jen's mind and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. He's just toying with her affection. Moving on to Chris and Jamie. So Chris is explaining to us that her son had gotten into trouble with some drugs, and that, he went to jail, and that's why she couldn't come back, when she needed to come back. That's why her 2-week trip to America turned into 5 months. And so she's saying all of this, so I guess people can feel sorry for her and be understanding on why she abandoned her wife for so long, because her child comes first, and so on and so forth. Your child will come first, yes, if your child is like sick in the hospital, something happened to him that was beyond his control, yes. But if your child is out there breaking laws and whatnot, you might need to put a little bit of tough love into action. So, and plus isn't he an adult? I don't think he's a minor. I think he's at least 18 years old. But anyways, moving on. So she says that her not returning. No, I'm sorry. Jamie tells us that Chris not coming back had nothing to do with her son, because according to Jamie, the situation with the son had happened, and her birthday was like way after. Jamie's birthday was way after the son had to go to jail. So she's basically saying, Chris is lying. Her not coming back had nothing to do with her son, because her son's situation was done and over with, and she still didn't come back home. So Chris accuses Jamie of being very selfish, and that, her son will always come first. And, selfish. How is she being selfish? I mean, she wanted her wife. Y'all just got married. You told her you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. You don't talk to her when you're away. You barely talk to her. You're barely sending money over to help her pay for this apartment. But she's selfish. when it seems like you just up and left when you felt like it. You stayed as long as you wanted to stay. You sent money whenever you felt like sending, and if you sent any at all, because to hear Jamie tell it, you didn't send any money at all. It seems like you're the one that was selfish. Your wife was waiting for you, morning, noon, and night, waiting for you, not knowing when you were going to come back home, begging to talk to you on the phone or on FaceTime. You were nowhere to be found. Your excuse was, I'm busy working. You couldn't find, no time out of your day. You couldn't talk to her during lunch. You couldn't talk to her right after work. I mean, your day was so booked and busy, you couldn't spare her 2 minutes. But then she's the one that's selfish. Make it make sense, Chris. Make it make sense. So Chris says that she's done because as Jamie was trying to explain herself again to Chris, Chris was like, well, I'm not just going to let you say whatever you want. I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to defend myself when you accuse me of something that I didn't do or whatever she says. I have the right to do whatever she was doing. She was just preventing Jamie from speaking the truth. That's why she kept on interrupting Jamie and wouldn't let Jamie talk because she says that Jamie didn't let her talk. But at no point did Chris allow Jamie to complete a sentence. She kept on interrupting her. First, it was like, oh, you're too loud. You're talking too loud. You're too loud. And she wasn't even talking that loud. And then when she came back, Jamie starts talking again and Chris interrupts her again and says, I don't have the right to defend myself when you're accusing me of things. The conversation goes completely left. It was a complete fail because Chris does not want Jamie to tell the truth. That's how I saw it. Chris knows that Jamie is about to drop some serious facts on us, and she doesn't want to look a certain way to the people. And so she's trying to stop her from talking because it's going to completely negate this picture that she's painted of Jamie, that Jamie is selfish and materialistic and she's all about the money and she's a gold digger. It's going to completely negate all of that. So then Chris was trying to make a point about, well, how much was the budget for the apartment? It was $4,500 or $450. I'm not sure exactly what. And then you got an apartment for $550 or $5,500 because Jamie said, the budget was, you told me the budget was 4,400. No, you told me the budget was 4,000. Okay, 4,000 a month. What? And so then, I'm pretty sure this is 4,000 in Colombian money, not in US money. And so then, Chris was like, yes. And you got an apartment for 5,500 or 550, whichever one it is. And, that's as far as they got. So she wanted to leave this lasting impression that Jamie wanted to get the more luxurious, the more expensive apartment. And poor Chris had to go back to America, and bust her butt, working all these jobs, making all this money to try to, keep up with the rent. But like I said, to hear Jamie say it, Chris never sent her any money and she was struggling because Jamie says to us that she has never been this much in debt since she's, hooked up with Chris. So Chris doesn't let her talk. Chris ends up getting upset. She leaves. She walks out. She goes back to the van that's waiting for them to take them back to their apartment. So she's inside, and then here comes Jamie. Jamie's about to get inside. I was like, wow, Jamie, you're going to get in the car with her after you have that, really bad argument? You're actually going to ride back home with her? So Jamie's getting herself ready to get back in the car, but she's also talking to the cameras and explaining to the cameras that, what was she trying to tell us? She's explaining herself to the cameras and, how she wasn't with Chris for material things. She's trying to clear her name and say, look, I'm not a gold digger. And so as she's trying to explain this to us, Chris is sitting in the car telling her to shut up. Stop talking. I don't want to hear you right now. And Jamie was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them, to the producers or to the camera. I'm not talking to you. Chris is getting even more and more agitated. And she's like, go away, to the point where she actually scoots over and pushes Jamie, puts her hands on her. I was like, what in the world is going on here? Why is she how could you do that on camera? How can you practically assault your wife on camera? Chris, what is happening to you? So I couldn't believe she did that. And of course, this sends Jamie into tears and they put her in another car away from her attacker. And it was bad. I mean, Chris, I don't know where Chris came from. I don't know who convinced her to get on this damn show. By the way, I read that it was obviously Chris's idea to get on the show. But anyway, Chris, you looked bad this whole entire season. You looked absolutely horrible. You look like, you played your wife. You made her all of these promises that you were going to take care of her. You wanted her to quit her job to help you with this food truck business, which never came into fruition. You probably even have enough money to buy a food truck anyway. You probably have enough money to buy a meal from a food truck. But then you sold her on this dream that you're going to take care of her. Then you run away back to America. You don't come back for 5 months. Girl, you looked really bad. You look like you just completely played with this woman's life. You completely played with her life and then you left her high and dry. So this is where the show ended. And then right after that, we went into the tell-all, which I'm going to talk about next. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please do not forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.